Kelvin, Jamal's ability to disrupt the other team. I think he had 4 steals in that first half. What does that do for you guys?
Well, there's 3 ways to get unscripted points. It's off turnovers, off offensive rebounds, then runouts and fast breaks. Our ability to get deflections and create turnovers, allows us to use our athleticism. Our style of play is our style of play. It has everything to do with our system, how we recruit, everything around it. That's why all our teams look the same. We don't go and try another style just because somebody else is doing it. We know who we are, and we're that way every day, every basketball season. And we'll be that way until my time here is done. But when we recruited Jamal, this is what we had envisioned for him. And that point guard position's important. Think about this is our 10th year, and we've had 3 point guards. We've had Galen Robinson, Dejan Giroux, and we've had Jamal Shedd. That's it. That tells you a little bit about how solid this program is.
Joseph, you ready? Mylik, what did the Australian trip do for you in terms of getting in there, getting some playing time? We had heard about you defensively, but did that 3 or 4 games really do a lot for you?
Yeah, it did a lot for me. Taking a year off. Coming from just trying to get my confidence back and everything. Just enjoying the trip, team bonding. Just getting the chemistry together. I think that's how it was.
Did you see the impact early on in the season, kind of what you carry over from there to now?
Yeah. Just being around the guys. Just mingling and everything. Just trying to get right and everything. I feel like that trip helped me a lot, getting to where I am now.
We'll go back to Chris.
Kelvin, you knew LJ would, start hitting shots. Did you? But when he's able to score like that, what dimension does that give you guys?
Really, Chris, I never even thought about, or even, he's been working so hard to learn our defensive system. That is not something that I've even thought about. It's tougher to learn our defense than anything else. That probably has something to do with that too. Once he gets comfortable, he's still a ways away from that, but his ability to make shots. Look up what he did in high school and where he ranks in the history of high school basketball. So making shots has never been a problem with that kid, no matter where he went. Our goals are 10 feet. 3-point line is the same. So that was never going to be his issue. What he had to do was, when you're a new guy and you move to a new place, Damian went through this, and Quentin, Kyler, Tajay, they try to fit in. Sometimes they try to fit in and take away from what they do well. I didn't recruit him here to fit in. I recruited him here to see what your role is. But everybody defends, everybody rebounds. And I've been real pleased with the progress that LJ's made on defensive end, because he's really trying. He really is. He's really working at it. He has instances where you can tell he's a step late where he's supposed to be. But, that was his 3rd game. Marcus played 100 and I don't know how many games. Marcus's freshman year, he was a step late in November too. But by the time we get to middle of December, for all these kids, it's not going to be thinking. We play so many different combinations, and that requires more practice time. But games, games is a good teacher for us right now, because we're able to use the film to teach. The scores in the games, I don't care about that. What does that matter? What matters is our guys learning. Are they getting better on things? Every game we'll pick 1 or 2 things to emphasize, and then we'll go back and watch film tomorrow and grade it and give them their feedback.
We'll go here to Starnes. Go ahead, Starnes. Joe, first 3 games into your college career, just how have you felt and what's sort of been the adjustment like for you going into live action?
Man, just keep playing hard. Just don't give up. I gotta stop. Just don't give up. Just keep playing. You win the ball. Ball stop moving. So I stop giving up. That's all I really gotta do. That's how I get my rebounds and stuff. You gotta stop moving. Just keep moving.
Mylik, you mentioned that you didn't play last season, but tonight was your most impressive offensive performance in this early season. You shot 5 for 6. Is there anything specific from last season when you redshirted that you've been able to take to this season early on?
Just learning the offense and learning like how everything's go. Just learning like after Jamal, just how to run a team. And just trying to get to my spots. I've been like working all year, just on my mid range and everything. And just feel like when you're just playing hard, everything will come though.
We'll go to Chris Carter. Coach, was J1 all about his back or anything like that?
Not his back, his knee. Same with him. His back was bothering him, and I told J1, I think it was, how many minutes did he play?
A little over 8.
Yeah, so that was around early in the first half. I told him to sit this one out. That allowed me to get extended minutes for Terrence, and that's what you schedule a lot of these games for those kind of things. We're not interested in the final score. That's not what the goal is. So tonight worked out good for Terrence and Ramon. Ramon's kind of a utility man. He can play backcourt or the front court. And then Damian. The goal is to have all those guys on the same night playing well. Right now they're taking turns. But they will eventually. We'll get there. I mean, we've got 4 guys in the backcourt that all can score at a high level on any night. Jamal can. I think when we beat when we beat the Big Ten champion Illinois, I think in that game Jamal had 18. Then we beat the Pac-12 champion Arizona. I think he had 21. So Jamal can score. LJ can score. Damian can score. Emmanuel can score. And then Leak over here, he can score. Did you have 30 in the game? Yeah. What was that, quadruple overtime or?
Nah.
Huh? Was it regulation? Was your 3-ball going in that night? Yeah. That's a surprise.
Starnes, you got one? Kelvin, how helpful is it to have a guy like Damian John sort of coming off the bench and start scoring, sort of stabilize things?
Well, we kind of planned it that way. Damian had a game last year that we saw on film. He had 38 against Vanderbilt. I think he had 26 against Villanova, and he had 32 on the road at Cincinnati. So, he may not be able to do that because, he's not going to get probably that many shots, but he's capable. But, one of the things that we wanted to manufacture with this roster is have depth. Your margin of error is so much wider. Like the story last game wasn't that Damian didn't play good and didn't score. Like tonight, it's not that. It doesn't matter about Emmanuel. What matters is that one of them does. As long as one of them, that's all that matters. But you've got 2 of them there that can. Both of them can get 20 on any given night, and all the good teams do. All my good teams have had multiple guys who can get 20 points. I think I adopted that. I've always tried to do that, and it took me a while to get to that point because I was at Washington State when I first saw it. Lute Olson's team, I remember when he had Steve Kerr, Craig McMillan, Sean Elliott, Anthony Cook, and Tom Tolbert. All 5 of those guys could get 20. and I think I had one. So that wasn't a fair fight, but that was also my first year. You know, then you go play Oregon State, and they got Gary Payton and that bunch. But I knew for us to have a good team, you had to have multiple guys that can get 20 in a game. Not average 20. Nobody's going to average 20 for us. But you got to have a bunch of guys on any given night that can. There's that backcourt, our Final Four backcourt. Dejan could get 20. Quentin certainly could. Marcus certainly could. Tremont could. You know, last year's team was similar to that, but this year's team, the biggest difference is probably Mylik. You know, I think sometimes less is more with Jamal. You know, tonight was especially good in the second half, for instance, just his energy, because his minutes are down. You know, and that was planned. That was one of the things that when we met in the summer, well, when the season ended, how do we get Jamal's minutes down so he can be more effective in the second half? You know, because when we got to March last year, our kids were dragging, man. I know I keep saying that, but behind the scenes, we knew it wasn't just the injuries; it was the toll. So if we can get Jamal down to 27, 28, 29, and some nights he may have to push it up there, but having a guy like Mylik, who our kids love playing with, who's just an awesome young man, as this young man over here is part of our depth. You know, we got a bunch of guys that can play and contribute to winning.
Kelvin, with that depth, does it help that, you know, you have practice and then there's the game experience, to know what you're going to do with Cordell and Jacob? Does that help you to allow you to kind of focus, you know, JoJo and get his time in, knowing that he's playing this year, but, you know, the other two, you know,
Well, we've known all along about Cordell, and kind of same thing about Jacob. Jacob's further along than Sid, but Sid redshirted last year. I mean, Jacob could probably get in there, but, you know, I just remember JVR's freshman year with Josh Carlton and Fabian and Jaywan and Reggie. You know, we had those four guys, and JVR, here he comes getting 2 minutes this night, 5 minutes then. You know, looking back, maybe we should have redshirted JVR. But I wasn't going to make that mistake with Jacob. You know, is absolutely the right decision with him. And, of course, with Cordell, there was no choice because he had surgery on both wrists. But you think next year, you know, JoJo is going to be a sophomore. J1 decides to come back, he'll be back. You've got JVR back, Jacob comes in. So, but we had a plan all along, a strategic plan for our front line all along, and this is what it was. We had it, and we stuck with it, and I'm glad we did.
Good time for a couple more here. Go to Chris.
Kelvin, have you gotten more comfortable, you know, playing a deeper rotation over the years? Did you have this kind of, you know, deep teams when you built it up at Oklahoma and Indiana, or has that sort of changed?
I don't know that yeah, we've had deep teams. I mean, the team that lost to Kentucky had 5 really good guards. Those 5 guards probably might have been better than these 5 guards. I don't know. That team started Galen Robinson, Corey Davis, Armani Brooks, and you brought Nate Hinton and Dejan Giroux. So that's 5. Then our front line was Fabian, Chris, Harris, Bryson, and I'm missing somebody. Who's our other 4? Who? No, Brian wasn't. Oh, wait a minute. You might be right. But I'm talking about a 4. We had another 4. Our 2 5s were Chris Harris and Bryson. Was Justin on the team? But anyway, we've had a bunch of teams with depth. You know, you just notice in this one because they're the one in front of you. You know, but we've always tried to play 5 guards. You know, the team that had the best depth got hurt. You know, think about how much depth that team had. we would have probably wound up starting, that team would have probably wound up starting Jamal, Marcus, and Kyler, and brought Tremont and Tajay off the bench. And then up front, you had those. So, it's kind of, we just got injured some years, but we've always played 9 or 10 guys.
Did you do the same thing at Oklahoma?
Not so much, not so much there. You know, the 3 Big 12 championship teams, Hollis, let's just say their year, because I remember that one. That team had 5 really good guards. Quantas, Hollis, Ebby Ara, Jason Dietrich, Blake Johnston. So that's 5 really good guards. And up front we had Jabari Brown, Aaron McGee, Darian Selvey, and Joseph Zendre, 9. So we played 9 with that team. So, no, you've been doing this as long as I have, Chris. There ain't no new tricks for this pony, although I'm willing to learn some.
Anything else? Everybody good? Coach?
Oh, last thing I wanted to say was I wanted to thank our fans tonight for coming out. It was kind of a nasty day, and they have a choice whether to come out and support our program or not. I know that's not something I take for granted. You know, I never lose sight of that first year, and I always think about that first year when I walked down the tunnel when nobody came and nobody cared, and now you're on a 60-degree night and raining all day, nasty, a lot of reasons not to come, and our fans do. So make sure they know I appreciate them, and I think that's